This conference will
Now,
now be recorded.
can you share your screen?
Oh, because when I share screen, everything gets minimized, and so just tell me, like, okay, I clicked on settings, and I have now the microphone, which microphone is using, which speaker.
No. What I want is, right, you have to add my email address, right, so that I will also have the access to that Boomi account. Let me share my screen, okay? What you
Okay,
need to do, I'll tell you. The
okay.
same thing you have to do it, okay? See, so you open the Boomi platforms, right?
Mm-hmm.
See, are you able to see my screen?
Oh, yes, setting. Okay, I know where is that. Okay.
Yes, you have to go to the settings.
Yep.
Then you have to go to the account information in setup.
Okay.
Okay, and then you have to come on the right hand side. Okay, here you will see the user management. Okay,
Okay.
here it's not there. Let me open another account. Just a minute now. See, go to setting, account informations and setup. Okay, and then yes, then you have to come on the extreme left hand side, right? You see the account access under that user management, right?
Yeah.
So here you see one user is there, right? You can add one more user. So you have to click this plus symbol, right?
Okay.
Once you click, it will ask for your email address, first name, last name, and
Okay.
you have to click on this administrator, okay? Administrator role, okay?
Uh-huh.
So the email will come to me, okay? So I'll give you my email address. You need to add me. So what
Okay.
will happen is I will also able to log in to your account. You no need to share your username and password with me.
Sure.
You can give the access. So this is the email address. I'm typing the email address over the chat, right? You can add me.
Okay.
Okay.
Give me 1 minute. And
Email will trigger to me once you will add it.
yeah. Okay. Okay. Can you check if you get enough?
Let me refresh. Yes, I got the email. Okay. So I'm going to do the registration. You have added me, right? Yes. Then login if you need. Let me reset the password. Yes, the password. Okay, I'm able to reset the password and I'm logged in. Okay. Yes, so I'm able to log into your account. Okay. Now I'll go to here. We are interested in integrations, right? So
Yeah.
you can go to the services and then integrations. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that integrations part in Boomi, we have other parts as well, but we were interested in integrations. Okay. So
Okay.
we'll go over here. Now I think you have created the Salesforce connections. Right?
Yeah.
So it's working, right?
Yes.
And you have created one simple process as well, right? So
Yeah.
Salesforce connections, this is the connections, and you try to import the query account, right? If I'll run this, right?
Yeah.
And you have created one cloud atom, okay?
Yeah.
So it's working, okay? So as soon as like no, as soon as you will, okay, it's working. That's fine. That's great. Okay. See, as soon as you are able to create the account, right? As soon the
Yeah.
first step is to create the environment and the atoms. Okay.
Yeah.
So in your real time, right, in the Boomi, you no need to worry about creating the environment and this atom because somebody else is already created. Okay.
Yeah.
So where we find it, you have to go to the manage atom management, right? So here you have created one environment, one atom, right?
Yeah.
This color is the atom, okay, and it is unattached atom. It means this atom is not attached to any kind of environment, okay.
Okay.
You have to create an environment. Environment basically is an instance, okay. The way we have the different instances, let's say for example in database we have a QA dev instance, QA instance, and the production instance, right?
Okay.
We can make it different, but since this tool, like this tool is on the cloud, right, you will not get a separate instance. What you need to do is once you get the access, right, once you create the account, in that you are going to segregate the environment or the instance, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what is environment? So have you looked into that? What is environment?
Yeah, I guess the environment will be either test or production, right?
Pardon?
Like I'm assuming environment will be either like testing environment and production environment.
Correct. But
Yeah.
in terms of Boomi, right? In terms of Boomi, environment contains some more things, okay? That contain extensions as well. Extensions means the credentials, okay? So let's miss okay. Environment. Okay, environments, right? So see, in environment you can attach the atom, right? You can package and deploy a process, right? So
Yeah.
what is environment and how you are going to access? You have to, this is accessible by atom management. You have to go to the manage and atom management, right? So
Yeah.
here they have created the production and the test environment. Under that environment, they have created the cloud atom and the test atom cloud, right? So these are the runtime engines, okay. So
Yeah.
if you come below, environment is the container which contain atom and the deployed processes. You need to remember what contain the environments, right? Once you are going to write the certifications, they will give you the options, right? So environment is the container which contains the atom and the deployed processes. Then what is atom, right? We are going to see about that atom. Deployed processes we know, right? Integration processes which we use to make it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know
Now,
also that local atom,
yes,
like so
yes.
local.
An atom can only be assigned to one environment, right? So atom can only, I mean, we have to assign that atom runtime engine to that environment that it's saying, okay? And how we are going to attach that atom to the environment, the options has been given, right? Once you create the environment, click on that and then you see the attachment, right? So here this test atom cloud, right? If you check that, it will automatically attach to that particular environment. Now now it's saying how to create the environment. Okay, so we are going to create the environment.
Yeah.
Okay, now you have to, where is that? Okay, here you see, right? So you click on the new. Okay, then you see the atom, and two things are there, atom and environment. First you create the environment, right? So classification, you will see two type of classification, production and test, right? So we are going to create the test. I'm going to write this as a dev env. Okay, it means dev environment. Okay, see, one environment has been created. I'll create one more environment. This I'll write this as a QA env, quality environment. This is also a classification will be test only, right? Dev and QA. Okay. Then I'm going to create one more environment. I'll write this as a prod env. Okay, so production environment. Right now, three environments has been created. Okay, now these three environments should have atom as well. So one atom you already created over here, right? Canada Integrations Test Cloud. So what we will do is we move this atom to the dev environment. So click on the dev environment. You see here, click on the dev environment and then come over here in the attachment. Okay, and you see the Canada Integration Test Cloud. Just you do the checkbox. Okay, now it automatically. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So are you following me, right? Or it's too fast?
Yeah, I'm following.
Okay. Now you see the environment has been the atom has been attached to that environment, right? Earlier it was unattached, right? But we have created the environment and then we have attached this one. The same way we have to do for QA and production as well. Okay. So now click on there. Now I'm going to create atoms. Okay. Environment we have done it. Atom we have to create it. Okay. Now local atom at later point of time will do the cloud. So cloud, one more atom is left it out. Okay, this cloud you see, right? So we make this as a let's say for example we'll make this as a Canada Cloud Integrations, right? The same thing you can write it instead of Canada. See. Okay, click OK. Okay. Now see one more atom is there, right? So this atom you attach to the production atom. Okay. Now if you click on that, come to the attachment, you see this atom is available. Click over there, right? Now in training account, right? Bhumi used to give two cloud atom and one local atoms. Okay. So local atom we are going to attach to the QA environment. Okay. So that if something we want to access locally, right, we can access it. On the cloud you cannot access the local systems. Will come up that concept as well. Now you have to do the activity. Okay, what you have to do is for local atom installations, right, you have to click on new, then you have to go to the atom. Now you see you don't see any cloud version, right? Because there are two cloud versions, we already used that one. Okay, now local is available. So what you have to do is, this is the operating systems. Okay, so you have to choose your operating system, whether it's which operating system do you have, it's a Linux or Windows. Windows. Okay, that's fine. Now you have to click on the Windows, right, and then don't click on download installer. After that, after choosing this, you have to come to the security tokens. Okay, you have to generate this token. Click on the token, it will generate it. Okay, that token you save it somewhere and then you click on the download installer. It will download one exe file. Okay, once that exe file is done, you have to right click and run as administrator. Okay, then it will ask you to provide the token. So whatever the token you have generated, you have to provide it. So this activity, this atom you need to install on your systems. Okay, so you have to install it. I'm giving the access, presenter access. You can share your screen, right? And then then you can start doing that. So I've
Okay.
given the presenter access, right? You can share your screen.
Sure. Okay, let's go to where's the start? Atom management. Okay, and then
New
click on new atom, and this.
security log, yes.
Okay, so we copy
Yeah,
this.
save.
Yeah, and fix this here. Okay, now download. And, here, and oh, I run it without clicking on that right click. And should I stop it and do run as admin?
Just leave it. We'll see if it's not work. Then we'll see.
Okay. So this is a bit slow because I'm not at home and this is on like a public Wi-Fi.
Yeah, just wait. We need to install it. This atom.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. So you need to right click and run as the administrator. Okay. No, don't do anything. You go to that location where that file has been downloaded.
Yeah.
Now right click, run as administrator.
So this says here token valid for 24 hours. Does that mean if I use it after 2 days, I need to get another token?
No, this is like no, it's valid for 4 hours, right? So the
Oh,
first time whenever you are generating, so that token is valid for how many
okay.
span it will valid, right? That's what it's saying. After that it will expire. You need to regenerate once. If that token is not you haven't used within that time spans, right? Then you have to use that. You have to generate another one.
Okay. Okay. So only for the purpose of installation.
Yes, it says the time span, right, of that validity of that token.
Okay, okay. Okay. So now I need to put the token, I guess, right?
Yes, yes. You need to put a token and then put next, and just next. It will ask you to choose the Boomi folders like environment. So you choose the QA environment. Under which environment you want to install? Yeah, QA. Next,
Okay. Okay.
next. After this, next only.
Yeah, I can see it start to show up here.
Yes, click on finish and just refresh your Boomi screen. On top there is a refresh. Yeah, refresh and just wait. It should come online. It should show as a green.
Yeah.
Yes. So see, on top, if Atom is installed locally, it's a circle. Okay, the symbolic color would be the circle. If you see the cloud symbol, it means
Yeah.
a cloud
Yeah.
Atom. Okay. Now let me
Yeah.
share my screen and let me tell you what is Atom.
Okay.
What is Atom? Okay.
Mhm.
So you need to little bit aware of Atom is basically a runtime engine, okay, which will help you to execute your processes, okay. Environment, we have seen it, right? What is environment? Now what is Atom? See, what is Boomi Atom? Okay, the symbol of, I mean, theoretically this is the symbol for the Boomi Atom, okay.
Yeah.
Lightweight, self-contained, it's a runtime engine. So I'll tell you an example you might be aware of. NetBeans and JRE, right? You are aware of, you might be knowing NetBeans. We are in NetBeans or the Eclipse, right? In
Yeah.
olden times, we are using for writing the Java code. And without JRE, your code will not be converted into machinery language, right?
Of
For
course.
execution, right? So
Yeah.
here also you can think of Atom as that one. Okay, it's a runtime engine which will execute your processes. Okay,
Yeah.
whatever the interface you are going to develop it, right? So after development, you want to execute that code, right? You need an atom. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
atom is a lightweight, self-contained runtime engine. Okay, and
Okay.
deployed like no on premises. The atom you can deploy it on cloud and on premise as well. So local atom which you have installed on your system, it's basically a kind of on premise. Okay.
Yeah.
The cloud atom which you see, right, it is outside of your firewall, right?
Yeah.
And see, atom, once once we talk about the atom, right, if it's a single runtime engine, that is called atom. Okay.
Mhm.
And if more than one, that is called the molecules. Okay. So you can
Yeah.
create the molecule as well. So molecule is basically a cluster of atom. Okay.
Mhm.
So this is called the atom. Now, what is the difference between cloud atom and the local atom, right? So I'll show you one picture. Okay, you would be able to figure it out when we are going to use the cloud atom and when we are going to use the local atom. Atom is of two types, cloud and local. We have seen it, right? Cloud and local. So when we are going to use the cloud atom, when we are going to use the local atom. Okay.
By the way, is there a limit for local atom?
No, there is a nothing limit, right? Limit with, I'll tell you when what is the limitations of the atom, but there is a no.
I'm saying, like, can I install another local atom on another machine now?
You can install. You can install.
Okay.
You can install on another system also. You can install, but this is the trial account, so you have to check whether they have given one more or not. In trial account, basically.
I'm not talking about trial. I'm talking about like in
Yes,
production.
paid version you can do it. Okay, paid version you can do it.
Okay.
You can see now you have to catch the color of the symbol. Okay.
Yeah.
So local atom, the color is blue color, and the cloud atom, the color is green color. Right now,
Yeah.
this is the cloud applications. This is the cloud applications, and this is the cloud atom. This is the local atom. This one is the local atom. This
Yeah.
one is the local atom. Now firewall is there, outside firewall or inside firewall, right? So
Yeah.
this explanation will help you to understand, right, when we are going to use a local atom and when we are going to use a cloud atom, right? See,
Yeah.
if your all applications are on the cloud, okay, nowadays all applications are, most of the applications is on the cloud. If you want to connect with that applications, then you can use a cloud atom. Okay. And you can use the local atom as well. So that's what this arrow mark is, that, right? So this is the cloud atom and this is the cloud atom. So these two cloud atom you can access through the both local atom as well as the cloud atom. First one is the cloud atom and the local atom, right? If two applications are inside the firewall, right, in your premises, right, so locally, so here you have to use the local atom only. You cannot use the cloud atom. Okay. The third condition is one application is on the cloud and another application is on the local, right? Then also you have to use a local atom. Okay.
Okay.
So uses, you are aware of that one, right? Why we need the cloud atom and why we need the local atom, right?
Yeah. So
that's what the uses is. Now we have created the environment, right? Dev environment, prod environment, and QA environment, right? So upper is the cloud applications, cloud atom, and below is the local atom. Okay. Now come to build. Okay. Now what are the life cycle in the Boomi? Okay. So what are the life cycles, right? So first is build, deploy, manage. First you are going to build your code. Okay. Once you build your code, you need to go for the deployment. Deployment means the code which you have built it, you are going to attach to that atom, whatever you have created, and then manage, right? Manage means once it's scheduled, right, it will execute it. So you need to manage your code as well, right? So life cycle is build, deploy, and manage. Okay, so these are the life cycles in the Boomi. Okay. Now, second thing is that as soon as you create the atoms and environment and all, right, you need to go for some kind of, on the left hand side, right, this part is called the component explorer. Okay,
Yeah.
so let me show you. Once you log into Boomi, right, then which part is called which things. Okay, so that's how you are going to create it, right? That we have created, right? And you see, right? See here. Let me take in the pen. Okay, so you see the folder structures had been created, right? This part. Now
Yeah.
this complete part is called the component explorer. Okay, component explorer. This one name you need to remember, right? Component explorer. Now you see this part, right? This part having the shapes palette, right? Where you can see all the shapes, execute, logic, and the connector, right?
Yeah.
Correct. And here this part, forget about this. Let me go on top. Not here. Here only we. In Boomi, I'll show you, right? So
Yeah.
after the shapes palette, whatever the space you see, right, which has been given for the your development, that is called the Boomi canvas. Okay.
Yeah.
Where you're in this part, this space you see, right? This complete space. Okay. So
Yeah.
this is called the Boomi canvas. Okay, where you are going to develop your code. Okay.
Yeah.
Now the best practices is, right, on the component explorer. This part you need to arrange the folders. Okay.
Mhm.
Arrange the folders. Now in Boomi, right, all the connections, whatever the connections you are creating it for that, whatever the connections you are creating in the Boomi, that connections is reusable. Okay. Let's say, for example, the Salesforce connections you have created, right?
Yeah.
So that should be on the common folder, and everybody should use that common connections. Okay. Should not create another connections.
Yeah.
Why? I'll tell you the reason later point of time, because there is a concept called the license, right? Boomi used to sell their product based on the license. License means how many endpoints you want to connect it, in a simple language. Okay.
Okay.
So let's say, for example, you have a database and you have a Salesforce. So how many licenses you need to buy? You need to buy 2 licenses. Okay.
Okay.
So 2 license means 1 license to connect to the Salesforce, another license to connect to a database, right? So one connections you already created. Now in the Salesforce we have a different instance, dev, QA, and productions, right? So for dev you have created one connections. QA you should not create one more connections because it's the same applications, right?
Yeah.
So what you have to do is, there is a concept in the Boomi called extensions. Okay. So you have to override that values during the extensions. You see this part, this is the extensions, right? So whatever the connections you have created, that you need to override. If for dev also you are going to create one more connections, and QA also you are going to one more connections, then applications is same, right? But you have created 2 connections. So your connections, it will count the licenses, and you need more licenses on that one. We should not do like this in the Boomi. One applications, one connections, and whatever the instance in that particular applications you are going to connect it, right? What you have to do is you have to extend that variable and you have to override. Okay.
Okay. Got it.
So I mean, concept wise you got it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll show you at a point of time. Okay. So now what you have to do is, let me go to this normal, and then minimize that. Okay. Now let me, it is all right. So here you are going to create it, and under this, right, you go and create a new folder and give this name as a hash common. Common means all the common thing would be. Now in common, whatever the connections you have created, right, you have to move in the common folder like this.
Okay.
Okay. Now you see.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Now everybody should, if we want to connect to a Salesforce to this instance, right? So everybody should use these connections. It should not be created one more. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So as soon as you do this one, right, this process also you can move it, right, to my new training course, right? So, okay, and this XML also you can move it to my training course. Okay, now see, now it's well arranged, right? So connections is there, connections also you move it to over here. Now see, it's well arranged, right? Under training quest mass, right, we have a common connections and we have my training. So this is your process, right? You can build it whatever you want inside this one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now there is a process library as well. Now I'm going to create my one more folder and I'll give this name as a training folder. Okay, so I mean, whatever the work, whatever the code you are going to do it, right? For that, you are going to create a folder. That is the best way to, like, do the arrangement. Okay. And whatever the common thing is there, you keep in the common folder so that whoever have the access to this account, right? This you to have access and I to have access, right? So whatever the common things are there, we can reuse. Okay. This should not be created. Now, as soon as we created the folder, right, we are going to create a process means in integrations. Okay, so how we are going to create the process? You click over this triangular icon, new component, right? So this box will appear. Okay, this box will appear and you see the type. So a lot of things are there. So as of now it should be process only. You give some process name. Okay, so I'm giving this as a, you have to see naming convention you have to follow as per the client. Okay, every client has its own kind of naming conventions. Okay, so that you have to follow. As of now we'll give this name as a name of the process as a training process. Okay, create it. Okay, so as soon as you will create, right, you will see one shape appearing over here. The name of that shape is start shape, right? Now the below these are the informations. This is very important for you, okay, to understand what is start shape and what is the mode, what are the types, and here you see, right, a lot of stuffs like connector, actions, connections, operations, right? So we'll see later point of time. So what is start shapes, right? So this information has been given, you have to read it. The start shape is the main shape that begins the process flow. This is the starting point. From here, your process is beginning. It is automatically added to each shape and cannot be removed, right? So sufficient information has been given over here about this start shape, right? What it's saying, it is the main shape. From here, the process flow begin, and it is automatically added to each new process, and it cannot be removed, right? And if you click on the process mode, by default it would be a general, but there is a low latency as well. So what is general and what is low latency, we'll see later point of time. Here the explanations has been given in general mode and in low latency mode, right? So as of now it's a low latency, leave it low latency, right? Now this start shape we can configure as a connector, trading partner, data pass through, no data. Okay, as of now we'll choose no data. No data, what it means, right, below is written, right? We can make this as a connector as well to establish the connectivity, but whenever you are doing the process, right, in the Boomi, the first step, except the web services, when we are going to expose your services, right, you make this as a no data only. I'll tell you the reason, okay, why you have to do. So no data means what? The options has been given over here, right? Select these options if this process should not retrieve data from any source, right? No data means it will not act as a connectors, right? Since this is the starting shapes, right, and we cannot delete it, we cannot remove it, I don't want to I don't want to make this start shape to do as some kind of functions. Okay, so that's the reason I have kept no data. Once you've done no data, click OK and the save it. Okay, you will see the training folder, the process has been created, right? Training process, save and close. If I'll go over here, double click on this, my process would be opened. Okay, now you can drag and drop this process wherever you want to keep it. So I want to keep it over here and then save it. Okay,
Yeah.
So as soon as you click on the save, right, you see on the left hand side there is something called revision history, right?
Yeah.
So it will goes on increasing. In Boomi, we don't have any kind of, like in other tools, right? We used to keep a backup, right? Correct? But in Boomi, it doesn't use to keep any backup. Whatever your revision history is there, that is your backup. If you want to go to previous version, just go over here and then save it. It will go to the previous version. Okay.
Yeah.
And the revision history will increment by 1.
Okay.
Okay. So that is the revision history. Okay. And if you scroll a little bit right, you will see the shapes palette, right? So these shapes, you have to use it to make your connections. Okay. Now click over here. Click over here. Now you can see, right? The start shape is a main shape that begin the process flow. It is automatically added to each new process and cannot be removed. The process modes, right? So we can have general type. We can, this start shape, we can make this as a connector, trading partner, data pass through, no data. So as of now, we have chosen no data. Okay. Now what no data means, below it's written over here. Okay. Now display name, some kind of name you can give it, right? So I'll give this name as a begin. Okay. Because from here this process starts. So I have given this name as a begin. Okay.
Okay.
Now save it. Now if you want to read more on this, right, this is start save. If you want to read more on this, what you need to do is go and configure this I informations. You see it, right? Click on the I informations, click on the documentation. It will take you to the link, right? It will take you to that link.
Okay.
Right. So here also you can read it about that save. Okay. And what are the things I have told you, right? It's given over here, right? So from here also you can read it. Until now it's clear, right?
Yeah, everything is clear. Yeah, and in fact, I know all what you are talking about here because, as I told you, I have a bit knowledge about how, like, basic. So what you are talking now is something familiar for me. I know everything up to now. Like,
Okay.
I know,
Now,
like, no data. I know the pass through. Like, if the process is divided into multiple steps, or it means pass whatever results that comes from step 1 to step 2. And of course, connector, you can start something right away to connect. So I have an idea about what does those
okay.
mean.
Sure. Then we'll go a little more fast. Okay.
Okay.
Now, this is the beginning, right? If there is some beginning, then there is a stop as well, right? So like semicolon in other tools, we used to put semicolon in language and all. Here we have stop shape. So you can bring the stop shape, right? Now stop shape, what it's doing, the information has been given over here, right? The stop shape provide the ability to terminate the data flow to the process path, right? These shapes can be used to simply, so this stop shape means stop, okay?
Okay.
And this
I
option
know
has
about
been,
this stop shape, but just have a question. Like, let's say if I have a process and whatever, let's say at the end it writes something to database. If I don't put the stop after that, would it throw an error? Like, do I have to use stop?
you have to use, I'll tell you why you have to use. See, do you see by default continue processing other executions path? What it means, by default it's a check, right? So click on the informations, right? The informations has been given, continue processing other executions path, right? So I'll show you.
Okay.
Stop and I'll put one branch. Okay.
Yeah.
Branch is a sequential executions, we know, right? Now you connect it well. Okay. Now you see one branch is there, and here also you put it. Okay.
Yeah.
So branch we have kept, first this path need to get executed and this path need to get executed. Come over here, continue processing. See, continue processing other executions path. Here also I haven't changed, continue processing other execution. Now run the process and you see. So click on that, select that, any environment you can select it. Let's select the dev and run the process, right? See, branch 1 is also get executed, branch 2 is also get executed, correct?
Yeah.
Now you just disable this. If you disable, now you see the difference in the name.
Okay, yeah, I got it. Yeah.
And then return and then continue. And then return means it will execute this and it will not execute this. Okay.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
run this process and see. So you need to put a stop steps, right? Because there is some functionality which you require it up. Okay.
Okay.
See, your execution successful, right? But
yeah,
second branch is not executed. Why? Because this is end and return and this. Yeah, it will.
Yeah.
You got it right now. So these things you need to be careful. So by default, it's coming as a checkbox. So don't remove it until and unless it's required. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Now second thing, what you need to do is, right, as soon as you have a begin, you have a stop as well. So there is one more thing that you need to put in, something called the try catch, right? So this is the try catch. So you are aware of what try catch means is, right?
Of course, yeah.
Right, and that retry count also, you know, right, what it's doing. So maximum is 5 retry, right? So here options has been given when it's going to retry. The first retry occur immediately, okay? The maximum number of failed document is retried. The main series of cell. The first retry occur immediately following the failure. Second retry, wait for 10 seconds. This number you need to remember for your certification. 30 retry, third retry 30 seconds, fourth retry 60 seconds, fifth retry 120 seconds. Okay. So you need to be aware of when we are going to use the retry. Failure trigger, right? So failure trigger, you have a document error and all error. If you keep all error, then it will capture both kind of error, process level as well as document level error. Process level and document level, you know, right?
Yeah.
So if you put document error, right, then it will capture only document. So you need to keep all errors. Okay.
Okay.
And before starting, one more point you need to know: the try. Just give a moment to me, okay?
Sorry, say again. What?
Yeah, 1 second. Just give a moment to me.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm here. So what I'm saying is, one more things you need to aware of this try catch is, right, this line, right? The try catch must be placed before main processing, before logic you are going to implement, right?
Yeah.
We need to put it. So the reason being, we know, right? In try path, we are going to put our logic. In catch path, we are going to put our error handling, right?
Yeah.
So something goes wrong, then it will capture it over here, okay?
Yeah. Yeah. So if it is connecting to Salesforce and doing something like
Yes.
get or
Get.
update.
Yes.
So
after this, right? After this, we are going to put a logic, right? So we'll connect. We'll bring the connector over here. Now we'll choose the Salesforce. We already made it, right?
Yeah. Can't you drag and drop the one that's already configured?
Yes, the same thing we are going to do it, okay? So let's see. You have to bring the connector, drag and drop. Now Salesforce connections is already available. You have made it. Now go to Salesforce. Okay.
Yeah.
Go to the Salesforce. Now we are going to query the Salesforce. So action would be send, get, and send. So get means query, send means insert update, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now connections, you already built it, right? So click on
Yeah.
this. Now go to common connections and choose it. Okay.
Yeah.
Operations, it should be separate. Okay. We need to build the operations. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm going to do it over here, and then I'm going to go over here. Now I'm giving some name SF operations, right? So
Yeah.
object connections, it's as of now none. You click on import. Now again you have to choose the connections, right? Choose it. Go to next. Now these are the object entities which Salesforce has exposed, right? So as of now, for our purpose, we'll choose the account, right? Because that account have the data, and since action is get, so it's a query. Do next. Okay. So this child parents relationship will be there, right? So click next. You can choose it, right? If what required, finish. So you see, right?
Yeah.
Object is account, action is query, response profile it's come up, right? And query limit -1 means it will bring all the data. And if you click on show SQL, it will show you, right? As SQL statement. And this is the checkbox. If you don't want to select all, just check whatever you need it, right? You just select it. Okay. And if you click on the show SQL, you see the SQL has been reduced, right? So whatever you required, you can also select it. As of now, I'll put it all, save it. You see the filter options and the sorting as well, right? So we'll see. Save and close. Okay. Now put the stop save. If I'll try to run this process will execute. Okay.
Yeah.
That we know, right? Click on that. Now click over here, right? Connections data. Now nothing is there. Click over here. Now save source data. Save source data means whatever the data coming from one step back. Okay. If you click over here, and save source data means whatever the data coming from back. So here you see 00. Why 00? Because this shape has the property, right, to generate an empty document. So that's the reason it's giving a document, but inside that nothing is there. Now come over here again. This is the connections, right? So you will get two things: save source data as well in connections. Save source data coming from here. So you will see 00. Connections data retrieved from here. So there are three records in the Salesforce, right? So that record has been brought it up. Okay. Query limit we have given -1, so it will bring all. So as of now there is a 3 record, so that's the reason it's bringing it up the 3 record, right? Again you click over here, right? So you will get the Salesforce data. So again you see 3 record. Here the Salesforce data means one step back. So what is the data coming from here? We are retrieving the data, right? So 3 data is there. So like that we have to see, right? Where, I mean, which step has the data and which step doesn't have the data. Okay, so it's simple. Okay, just to analyze it. Okay, and click on this on top. You see, right? This triangular icon is there. Click on that. This would be the log to see it. Okay, here you will see the logs, and you can download. You can download the log as well if you want to download it. Okay.
Yeah.
Retry previous instance, right? So we can retry as well the previous instance. Okay.
Okay.
So it will rerun. Okay. Right. So previous instance it will rerun. So it's a simple. Up to here is clear, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to force an error to catch it, or later?
We'll see. We'll see later point of time. Okay. Now, if you want to apply filters, right? If you want to get some particular data, you can apply the filters over here. Okay.
Yeah.
Add expression, add it, right? And let's say, for example, I'm giving this as a ID equal to ID, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, see, you see the parameters, right? So click on the parameters, right? You see over here, click on the plus. choose this, and here you can give the whatever the ID you want to give 1 2 3 4 5, right? So it will bring that particular record. Okay.
Okay. Sorry, can you repeat this specific part about like query by specific record? How to configure?
Yes, I'll do it. First, I'll go to these operations. Let me delete this.
Oh,
Okay.
uh-huh.
Delete this. Delete it. Now, parameter. Delete it. Now, if you want to retrieve, we'll run it. Now it will bring all the records, right?
Yeah.
And this is the test mode. Okay. Once while you are building, right? While you are building, you have to test it. So this is the test mode. So in test mode, there is a limitations to retrieve the data. You cannot retrieve all the data. See, as of now, 3 records are there in the Salesforce, right? So it's bringing all. But in test mode, there is a limit. Okay. So what is the limit? Test mode, you cannot bring all the data. Okay. Test mode. See. This one and this one is the limit for the test one. Okay. Test mode support unit testing a limited set of documents. Okay. Connectors only support retrieval of max 100, right? Or total, if size is there, then beyond that 10 MB, you cannot test it, right? You need to deploy it. Okay. So this limit you need to know. Since as of now 3 data is there, so it's below 100, right? So that's the reason it's giving. Now, how you are going to apply the filter? Let's say, for example, I need this particular record. Okay. I don't want all record. I need some particular record. So you have to go to these connections. You have to go to these operations, edit the operations, right? Then you come to the filter, add expression, add expressions over here. This you change it. I'm going to apply the filter on the ID. So filter name ID. Then you have to choose the fields. And then what operator you want to do is like, not like, equal to, less than, right? As of now, equal to I've given. That's all. Save and close. Now come to parameter, click on this plus symbol. Whatever that field name you have given, it will be available over here. And you can retrieve all the whatever the drop down is there, right? So as of now, you just give the static values. Okay. Now come over here. So go to operations once again. So SQL, right? See, select this from where ID. So this we are passing from the question mark is there. This we are passing from the parameter. Okay. So here we have passed it.
Okay.
This value, right? Now it will not bring all the record. It will bring that particular record. The same logic is there for other connector as well. Okay. Go over here, go to now Salesforce data. You see only one record is there, right? Earlier it's a 3 record, right? Previously it's a 3 records, right? Now here only one record is there. Open that, right? That particular record has been pulled it up from the Salesforce, right? Now if that record has been pulled it up and you want to send somewhere, right? Let's say, for example, I want to send to your local system, right? So can you create one folder and give the name to me? What I'll do is I'm going to create one disconnections. Okay. New component, not here. Connections you should always create in the common. Okay. New component. Now I'm going to create a connections, not the SQL. This one, right? Can you? I'll write the hello. Can you hear me? Can you give the directory? Can you create one folder on your system and give it to me where you have installed the local atom? Just create one folder, something like this, right? Give some name and then on top give the path to me. So that we'll try to send some document to your local system. We'll see how that local has been used. Okay.
I'm gonna put it in the chat here.
Yes, give me on chat. Yes, I got it now. Okay, this copy, paste it over here. Okay, so this is the local folder you have created, right? Now we'll try to push some files, right? And we'll see the file has been going there, right? So disk connections has been created. We'll bring the connections over here, right? And then choose the disk. Okay.
Yeah.
Then we'll try, we have to send, right? Then choose the connections. So we already created the connections. Operations, we have to create it, right? So we'll write this as a disk operations. Now, file naming conventions. So these are the drop down: create unique name if file exist, override if file exist, find error, create unique file if file exist, okay? Or override if file exist. Save and close. Save and close, save and close, okay? What is the error? Oh, local atom you have to use, okay? See, this is the cloud application and this is the local applications, right? So you have to use the local atom.
Yeah.
See, can you check the file has been gone to your system or not with .dat?
No. No. Oh, it came in the folder, the upper folder.
Different folder?
Like, what's the path? Oh, yeah, probably. Yeah. Because I created another folder inside this one, and I forgot to put it there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it came correctly.
You see the one file with dot extensions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So see, this is the cloud applications and this is the local applications, right? For that you have to use the local atom, and you will see the file goes to that system, right?
Yeah.
So up till now it's clear, right?
Yeah. Everything is clear.
It's simple only. After that, right, once you receive the data, right, you need to do a transformations, right? So for transformations, we have a map, right? And if you go inside the map, you know the source and the destinations, right? And functions, you see lot of things, right? So we'll see tomorrow. We'll continue tomorrow. Okay. Meanwhile, just look into this one, right? Since you already know, but still you look into one more time. The best way to know about this Bhumi, right? Each shapes you go and read about this. It will help you a lot. Okay. Now, if you go, it will 90% of your task is done. You would be able to know about the Bhumi. Read about this like this. Go on each step, read on top. Okay. If you need more detail, then only you go to I-informations. Okay, and it will take you to the documentations. Okay.
Yeah, I know most of them, but I just need maybe to give me a kind of use cases where to use each one. What's the best scenario?
I'll introduce with all the shapes and how you are going to use it. Okay.
Yeah.
So that use case can be anything, right? Multiple use cases are there. Once you know this about the shapes, right? That logic can be fit in multiple use cases. I'll introduce you. Okay.
Yeah, just
Slowly.
examples. I'm not saying like every use case, but just like a logic, something like.
Yes, logic also I'll tell you. Slowly I'll tell you. Okay. The way slowly we started making the process, right? So I have told over you, right? And then tomorrow I'm going to say discuss about this map shape, right? And then slowly as I'll introduce all the shapes, how to configure it, what is the use, and when you are going to use it.
Okay.
Along with that, we'll give you the best practices as well. So we'll continue from tomorrow. Tomorrow is Saturday, Sunday, right? So the Saturday, Sunday I'm not available. We'll continue from Monday. Okay.
Sure. So.
Okay then.
Oh, sorry. You are saying. Oh, you are. Yeah, you are already in Friday. So. So basically tomorrow, because for me it's still Thursday. So you are talking tomorrow. For me, Friday it will be, right?
So tomorrow, see, tomorrow my morning would be your Friday evening,
Yeah, okay.
right?
Yeah.
And my Monday morning would be your Sunday evening, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to follow your time, then tomorrow I can take the class. Then 8 and 9 would be off, right? Because 9th would be your my 10th, right? It would be your Monday morning, right? No, Monday evening. Correct?
Yeah, remember. Yeah, I'm still like now I'm still Thursday here. So so let's start from one by one. So tomorrow, which is
Hmm.
Friday for me, it will be Saturday morning for you. Will we do
Correct.
one? Or no?
You want to come?
Up to you. I can come. Yes.
Okay, we can do it. Okay, so
Okay.
Saturday we'll do it. Then it would be the timeline will follow from you, right? Then
Yeah.
it would be Friday evening, right? Now
That will be Friday
Sunday,
evening for me. Yes.
yeah, Sunday would be your Saturday, right?
Yes.
And my Monday would be your Sunday.
Yes. Do you
Then
want Sunday?
my Tuesday would be your Monday.
Yeah.
Or do one thing. Are you ready to come on Saturday, Sunday as well?
I'm ready. I told you since day
Okay,
one.
then.
I'm ready.
Yeah, then
Up to
we'll
you. I
continue
don't
the
want.
same time, right? The same time will continue tomorrow, day after tomorrow, right? We will not. I'll continue for you. We will finish the course as early as possible. Okay?
Up to you. Again, I'm not pushing you. Up to you. Whatever is convenient for you.
Yeah, it's convenient for me. We'll continue Saturday, Sunday as well. Okay?
Are you sure? Okay. Up to you. I mean,
Yes, yes.
I can work on your schedule. Like, don't worry about me.
It's okay. We'll continue tomorrow and day after tomorrow. We'll
Okay.
continue this week and then we'll see from next week. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, then we'll continue tomorrow. Okay? Bye.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. See you tomorrow.
Thanks. Yeah. Bye.